All right, just got a quick one here. I want to talk a little bit about this new Jazz Hop Leap expansion that just came out from Native Instruments, and just talk about Leap in general, because Leap is this thing that came with Kontakt 8, and there isn't a ton of information on it. In fact, I still am scratching the surface of it myself, but I want to dig into it a little bit, and looking at a new expansion is a good way to do that. It's just a collection of, it looks like about 10 kits, and in those 10 kits, you have a whole bunch of samples or loops that are mapped out onto the keyboard. And the reason this is kind of important is because Leap is like the new way that Kontakt is trying to handle samples or user samples, and then also expansions. And these expansions, you have to understand, are very small. So it's 10 little kits with a bunch of loops in it that, you know, if everybody buys, they're all going to have the same loops. And when you buy a machine expansion, they come with more content than you would find in a Leap expansion. That's why they're significantly less money. In my opinion, they're just kind of a way to get people interested in this Leap aspect of Kontakt. And when you drag your own loops into Kontakt now, it'll load it up in Leap by default. So the Jazz Hop expansion is definitely my kind of thing. It's that kind of jazzy hip hop vibe, lo-fi kind of thing. So let's have a look and see what it's all about. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions about Leap and what you want to see in the future. You can just click on these 10 kits and get a really quick sample of what they sound like. Okay, let's load that one up. This is really nice. And once you load a kit up, you're gonna see these 16 different slots down here at the bottom, and then some macros above that, and then a bunch of different menu options up top here that open up different things like the editor for whatever sample you're clicked on, and send effects, and then perform effects, which are these fancy little icons that they've got above the keys. They're actually on all the black keys, and those ones are gonna do stuff to your sample. So if I'm playing so it's doing stuff to the sample, take it up the octave, take it down the octave, doing some stretching of some sort. And this one's also doing some kind of granular stuff. Speeding it up. So you got different ways that you can kind of mangle a loop by using these little perform effects. It's reversing samples. And if we click on the perform effects, we can actually see what these things are doing. So I click on this little drop down, we can see that's a gator. Okay, that's a great name. And let's crank up the mix so it's... So now you can really hear the gate happening. If we tone it down, just kind of more of a subtle effect. Anyway, so these are what these perform effects do. I gotta say, for myself, I'm not so much into some kind of perform live thing in terms of what it's going to do to a sample. I'm going to definitely want to mangle a sample, and that's it. So I'll probably use other systems myself, but some people really get a kick out of this. I know Bo Tyler, good buddy of mine, he is a master of the perform effects on the machine. And again, that's something that I just haven't delved into. So check him out if you're into that kind of thing. Anyways, let's see what these samples are all about. So you got a kick, a snare, clap, hi-hats, put them all together. All right, well, we're at the totally wrong tempo for a kind of chill thing. And if I click on a sample and hit edit, I can see that this one is at 84 beats per minute. It'd be nice if the kit just said, this one started at 84 beats per minute, you know? But it doesn't really matter as much because it's really good at time stretching. You can hear that we were at 120, so we're almost twice the speed of what the sample was at, and it still sounded pretty good. So there you go. And you can go in and change the perform effects and have different perform effects on different slots here, or have the same one. So you could choose another gator right here kind of thing. So the perform effects do have, I think, a lot of use for certain people. So we got this Rhodes thing. And we got nice little saxophone sample. So really nicely played horns on here. Pretty good time stretching. And if we set the tempo back to 84, we can also change the key. So right now it's in D minor. So, I mean, it's just a song. I'm playing a song by mashing my fingers on the keyboard, right? So, of course, everybody has access to this. So we're going to want to mess with this for sure. But it could be also a nice starting point. Anyways, what else you can do with this is you can go and change the keys. So all it did was put it into B minor, which is the relative minor of D major. I don't know how far we could push this. Let's take it up to A. Or down to A. So it's doing a really good job of pitch shifting, but keeping the time the same. You've got all sorts of other stuff like filters and whatever freak is. And then, of course, we have these controls all right on top of our complete control keyboard. If you have those, makes it very easy to see what you're looking at. Let's try another kit. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like that. And so you got this little hit, and then all these are just kicks and loops and stuff, right? So if I want to, I could play this as a kit, but right now I can't. So if I just click on the first one, let's go to Edit. And all I need to do is take the end point to this guy and just drag it right here. And let's turn off loop. And that's all you got. You can hit one shot if you want. It'll just keep playing it. If I hit hold, it will just hold it until, it'll just play the sample till I let go. So we probably want to set it to one shot, and then we could go to the snare, and we could do the same thing. So let's go set our snap to 0 crossings, and then just drag this over. So let's take our start point, not our loop point. That's what the L is. And we'll just do the same thing. We'll go turn the loop off. Whoops. And then we got this little guy, little crunchy sound. I like that. Now let's turn the snap off and get a little bit before that. There we go. Turn the loop off and turn the end to right about there. Kind of a shakery hi-hat. And we'll do the same thing, turn the loop off there. Right, so now you can sit there and just play your own beat in using those sounds. That's one way to do it. The thing that I wish it did have was, we could go to something like this. There's no way for me to really easily slice this up and map it out onto a keyboard. Next thing I can do is something like this, is I can hit this little keyboard icon, and that changes it to single mode. Instead of all this group of 16 samples, now we're in single mode. So now we could do something like this. I'm just triggering that sample kind of over and over again. So now I can set this grid to auto, and I can snap to the grid and then crank up the threshold. And now we get these nice little samples. A little too many if I go too far. But I don't see any way for me to go and, you know, play this slice on one key and this slice on another key, other than, you know, making a whole bunch of leaps with this one loop on it, and then starting the next leap at this chunk and starting the next one at the next one. And I'm just like, that can't be right. We also don't have the ability to like drop in little slice points in here. So I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think I am. So, and let's reload this one, and I'm just going to play in that beat. And then we're just going to play around a little bit. Okay, so let's duplicate that, and then we'll make another track with something else in it. Yeah, I want to try something here. I'm going to put this little piano thing in. And I'm going to drag that into a sampler track in Cubase. We're going to slice it, turn that on, and we'll go turn that down. So this is what I need in Leap. I can just drop in a slice right here. Something like that, you know, get the classic sampling going on. And then, but I should be able to do this stuff inside Leap. That would be the dream. All right, here we go. Well, as you see, this isn't the dream come true for me. It's the samples are really nice. I could definitely see myself using them. And the thing you got to remember too is that those samples can just be loaded anywhere. So if you're a machine user, you don't have to use this Leap format. You can just go right to the browser and pop them into Machine itself. Let me just really quickly show you in Machine what it would look like. You could go to, let's say, Loops. And then under Loops, you click the little icon, and then you're going to find Jazz Hop right here. So you just click on it, and now you've got all of the loops that are in this Jazz Hop expansion. So you can load up one of these samples, and now it's just an audio module or a sampler module in Machine like normal. And of course, you can slice that up to your heart's content. So there's more to these expansions than just opening them up in Leap. So that's something to be aware of. Okay, and then one more thing I just noticed. If you go to your hard drive, you're going to find the Jazz Hop library with the samples. So you know what? If you really don't want to use Leap and you just want to use whatever sampler you've got in your system, you can use all of these loops. So it looks like it comes with about 168 loops, which is not nothing. So there you go, 168 loops for 10 bucks or whatever it is, American. And then also play around with the Leap and let me know what you think. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.